Too late, sir. I said so. I know, Bob. I know. Game's up, I'm afraid, chum. Nearly enough. You did get them out. You're sure of it? Safe as houses. I swear it. Ready then? Ready. Come on.
We'll not have you showing us up again, Lucian. Mrs. Hall says the antimacassars still reek of flies, Wilson. This is Patricia's day, not yours.
Hell's bells, get a move on. Ruddy people. Blasted school. I don't know why we have to send the child here. What's wrong with St. Winifred's?
Must we go through this again? It's the best girls' school in England.
It's certainly the dearest.
So, Lydia, did you enjoy your Hellenic cruise?
Oh, yes, thanks awfully, Miss Bulstrode.
Are you going to give us a lecture?
Could you pop over there, please? Ah, Pamela Price.
From the Triffitt We'll come now. I'm afraid you'll find things rather ordinary here compared with Switzerland, Princess Easter.
Oh, you do not know how much I've been looking forward to coming to Meadowbank. Swiss, they are a very regular people. I like England. Things are not so regular.
But there are still rules.
Of course.
And may I offer my sincere condolences?
Condolences?
Your fiancé, Prince Ali, I understand he was killed.
Well, we never met, of course. It was arranged years ago. I was just a child. Perhaps I'll find my husband here in England.
Yes, well, we mustn't run before we can walk, must we?
Looking for Miss Bulstrode. Oh, you must be Miss Chaplin? Unless it's Chadwick, mathematics.
Call me Anne, please.
Everyone knows me. Been here since before the Ark.
I only hope I can live up to Meadowbank standards.
Oh, you'll fit right in, my dear. Look at that desk. A model of efficiency. Vera's used to resemble the Ardennes after a heavy German pounding.
Vera?
You got her job? Oh, very irritating. Gave up the post all of a sudden. Something to do with a man, apparently.
We'd better be getting along.
Ah.
So sorry. No go out on the glasses, I trust.
Fortunately not.
Good. Supplies of my budding Michelangelo. Do you see?
Monsieur Poirot.
Ah, the estimable Mademoiselle Bulstrode. What a pleasure it is to see you again. And the day progresses as hoped?
Speaking to parents is like feeding dogs. One simply pops soothing platitudes into every waiting mouth.
The platitudes, surely not, mademoiselle. For you're so wonderful, Meadowbank. Does not his fame rest upon how you regard your young ladies? As individuals?
You're so kind. And thank you once again for coming.
De rien.
The mayor is blaming his ulcers, but I suspect foul play.
Comment?
Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Kick-offs at 3. I know where his worship's loyalties lie.
Impossible! Never, never, never!
Everyone else seems happy.
I am not everyone else. I am someone, the Princess Shaista, and yet you want to imprison me in this mean little hovel. The window is tiny. The bed is hard as diamond.
Shaista.
Princess Shaista.
Now, no more of that. All the girls are equal here in Meadowbank.
But in Switzerland...
Yes. Well, we're not in Switzerland anymore, are we? Come along. We mustn't be late.
Person Whelan, stop being such a silly goose. Now run along. Oh.
Steady, miss. Morning, miss.
I say, Froggy, put those papers back here, why don't you? A dumb thing over here to oral serves.
How dare you touch me? I'm not used to being treated in this fashion.
Don't worry. This isn't assembly. Just a few words before our distinguished guest presents the Pemberton Shield. I'm sure pupils and parents alike will be pleased to welcome back Miss Rich, who we trust is feeling tip-top again. And to say hello to Mademoiselle Blanche, our new French mistress. It now only remains for me to introduce our guest of honor, a personality of international renown, Monsieur Hercule Poirot.
Mesdames, Messieurs, but most importantly of all of you young ladies, if Poirot has the renown international, then surely he shares this honor with the great Meadowbank.
Who's he?
I am sure
Oh,
that
you...
this neuter...
Oh, really, Jennifer, you're an awful wet blanket sometimes. How many revolutions have you seen up close? And Mummy had a burglary last month. That's nothing. Don't you read the papers? Mr. Poirot has been caught up in some absolutely snorting killings.
And now, to add luster to its name, after the Tournament International, which was so thrilling,
He looks a bit like a penguin.
the winning of the prize most renowned, the Pemberton Lacrosse Shield. Was it not a great Dr. Arnold who said...
God, I'm desperate for a gasper. Please, Miss Brown. Some of us are actually listening, you know.
Oh, yes. Must all be on our best behaviour, mustn't we?
Could ask you the same thing.
Most of all, pray for.
Everyone smile, please. Good.
Julia's been dying to know, monsieur. Oh, go on, monsieur. Tell us about some of your murders. Only the juicy ones, mind.
The juicy ones, come on.
Well, of course. Poison's so passé, and anything with firearms is positively vulgar, but smashing in someone's noggin with a blunt instrument now. Go on.
Yes, girls, that will do.
I am a privilege to you.
I suspected a rescue was in order. She's a bright girl, Julia Upton, but she's a little wayward. And the friend's a bit of a puzzle.
A puzzle? How so?
Jennifer Sutcliffe. She's deep. She got caught up in that revolution in Ramat just recently.
Ah, yes. The Prince Ali Yusuf. He was killed, was he not?
Dreadful business. Jennifer was out there visiting her uncle. He was killed too, poor man. She and her mother got out just in time.
Mademoiselle, something... It is troubling you.
No.
Come now. We're old friends.
Well, the fact is, I've decided to move on. Retire.
Retire? Oh, Mademoiselle, you are still so young.
Not because I don't feel up to it physically, quite the reverse. The school's never been better.
I comprehend. The challenge, it has gone.
And remember, you're not to play tennis. It's too cold.
I'll be just fine, Mummy. Do stop fretting.
Oh, I can't help it. I'm a fretter, Julia. Now, you've got everything you need.
Yes. Oh, can I get back now?
Now, I must find Miss Bulstrode.
Bye-bye.
Who is to be your successor?
Well, everyone assumes it'll be Miss Chadwick, of course. We founded the place together. She's an absolute brick, dear Chadwick.
But you think...
Meadowbank works because I've taken risks. It's an unconventional place. Miss Chadwick will preserve Meadowbank in aspect if she could, and I think that would be a great shame.
And what are the other candidates?
That's the problem. There doesn't seem to be anyone else. I wonder, Monsieur Poirot, would it be a great imposition for you to stay at the school, get the measure of the staff, and help me make up my mind? You're such an excellent judge of character, and your knowledge of human nature is unsurpassed. Oh, Lord.
Mademoiselle?
Lady Veronica Carlton-Sandways. She's a delightful person, except when she's 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, Miss Bulstrode, so glad I caught you. Is there something the matter?
Lady Veronica, Mrs. Upjohn. That's what's the matter.
Oh, yes, I remember her. Imbibed from the Wassail Cup and might be freely at the Carol concert, didn't she? Extraordinary. Isn't it possible? Get surely. The mission went wrong as before in Russia. Now, let's get you a
Dear
nice...
Chaddy, where would I be without you?
I mean, we knew all the agents from the files, of course. But really, the most astonishing resemblance. But it's not possible. I'm so sorry. I've been wittering on. Goodbye. See you at Christmas, I expect. Yes. Excuse me. It's a horse.
Monsieur Poirot.
Mademoiselle, I have nothing on at the present. And Georges, my valet, has the time to place a suitcase on the train, so Poirot, he would be happy to remain here and advise you.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Thing. The balance is all wrong. Oh, it's much better than my old thing. It's like a sponge. I'd rather have yours than mine. Welcome to it. Are you all right, Jem? Just thinking about poor Uncle Bob. He had so much going for him. You mean working for the Prince? Yes, but there was something else. I mean, he only hinted at it, but you could tell from his smile. A girlfriend? I think so. Ooh, a patch. Oh, how sad. What's the score? Love. Love all.
And arms first, to second, and close, and turn. And begin this side, plie down, releve up, and turn. Grand battement front, tendu, and close.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Chaplin.
Hello there. You staying with us then?
We were just for a little while. Poirot is here to observe.
Ah, a spy.
Oui. For my so-called friend, His Majesty King Leopold III of the Pigeons, there is the possibility of the royal princess coming here to the school.
Quite an honor.
Oui, bien sûr. And you? You are new here, huh? So how do you find it?
A bit bewildering, actually. I suppose starting school's no different whether you're 5 or 35. Plus, well, I used to be private secretary to Sir Mervyn Todhunter. Huh? Before that, I was personal assistant to an oil magnate. Before that, a cabinet minister.
I comprehend. You've worked only for the man?
Yes.
Come on, Forbes, put some gumption into it for Pete's sake. towards health and discipline. Do it again.
Entree, venir, rester, naître, arriver.
Mourir. You forgot mourir. Mourir. To die.
Cool, where'd he pitch up from? What a dish. Adam Goodman, he's called. I wonder if he is. A good man. I hope not. Yeah, I hope he's thoroughly bad. He certainly looks it. Adam, eh? Maybe he's got some forbidden fruit knocking around.
Oh, no. Forbes, not on the floor. Go and get him up and clean it up. Go on, go and get him up.
Not Miss Springer.
Look, Lizzie. Down the glen tramp little men. One hauls a basket, one bears a plate, one lugs a golden dish of many pounds weight. No, said Lizzie. No, their offers should not charm us. Their evil gifts would harm us. That's all for now, guys. That was lovely.
Yes.
I merely wished to look over the pavilion.
You had plenty of chance for that at the prize giving. This place isn't for all in sunlight to go and traipse about in, Froggy.
Please don't call me that. It offends me.
Pardonnez-moi.
Is everything all right? Fine.
Afternoon, ladies. Nice place, isn't it? Must have cost a packet. They get the best of everything here, don't they? The young madams.
They pay for it.
Through the nose at you.
Don't you have something to do?
I dare say. Miss Chaplin.
It's a sort of wired and boned arrangement. Pushes her up. Quite unnecessarily. I see what you mean. You would have someone's eye out with that.
But you see, my breasts are not very big. Not nearly big enough.
I don't think your breasts are a proper subject for conversation.
It is all too much, all this running and jumping. And I do not like Miss Springer. She sweats like a pig.
That'll do, Shaista.
Princess.
Don't. Oh, there's Miss Chadwick.
Daddy? Thank you, Miss Chadwick.
Yes, Honoria.
Where are you off to?
Infirmary to look in on Patricia Forbes. Oh, Miss Springer made her ill. I had to have words.
Dear Miss Springer. Not a success, I fear. I should never have given her a second chance after that incident last term. Haven't been keeping my eye on the ball, have I? How's the first week going, do you think?
Oh, quite all right, I suppose. Oh, it's nothing I can put my finger on, Honoria. Just a feeling something's not quite right. The girls seem a pleasant lot. I don't care for Mademoiselle Blanche, though. Sly.
Oh, I'm sure she'll settle in. Never like the French mistresses, Chaddy.
Whereabouts in France are you from?
Crécy.
Oh, Topper, as in the battle.
Yes.
You're looking awfully well, Eileen. Lost a few pounds, haven't you?
Oh, illness, I suppose.
Bloody woman.
Comment?
Chadwick. She thinks she owns the place. Well, not yet, she doesn't. She had the temerity to take a pupil out of my class. It wasn't like this in my last school, I can tell you.
No?
No, I turned the place around.
Even so, I expect your ideas haven't always been accepted in the way they should have been.
It's scandalous. Miss Bulstrode is in complete agreement, Miss Springer. It's not how we do things at Meadowbank. They're our girls, here to be nurtured, not tortured.
You see, you must always prepare for ingratitude. The trouble is, people are so cowardly, they won't face facts. They prefer not to see what's going on under their noses. Well, I'm not like that. I get straight to the point. More than once, I've unearthed a nasty scandal.
Oh?
Well, I never give up. Not until I've pinned my quarry down.
see, mademoiselle. The Spanish wine and the digestion of Poirot are not on the terms most friendly.
I hope you're enjoying your little sojourn with us. Monsieur, I'd hate to think you were bored.
Bored? But the two, mademoiselle. There does not need to be present a crime for the investigator to thrive. This school, it is like the world in miniature. It is like the, what is the word? The
Microcosm.
Just so. Just as in the outside world. Hopes, dreams, fears, secrets. This place, so full of the promise of youth, the future of the nation. And yet how lonely and silent are its corridors at night. Lonely and silent as the chambers of the house. The daily struggle of human life. As fascinating as the bloodstain or the fingerprint. Pardon, mademoiselle. Poirot, he drifts and digresses. And I think it is time that I say good night.
Wrong.
Christina Breen has earache.
Oh, really, Miss Johnson, what has that got?
No, you don't understand. I was just putting her to bed when I noticed someone out in the sports pavilion. I saw light when I was closing the curtains.
You're right. Looks like a flashlight.
Burglars, do you think? More likely a girl meeting a wastrel boy. Come on.
Maman, s'il vous plaît. Maman. Mademoiselle Bushrod. What is the matter?
It's Miss Springer.
Follow me inside. Yes, sir.
Bad business, this.
We shall weather it, no doubt, as we've weathered many storms.
Death of a games mistress in a sports pavilion sounds like a highly athletic crime.
Discretion, Inspector, is the key, don't you think?
Which is where our continental friend comes in.
Monsieur Poirot has an international reputation.
Oh, so does Mussolini. We haven't been properly introduced. Detective Inspector Kelsey.
Je vous en prie, Inspector. Hercule Poirot.
I understand Miss Bulstrode has requested your involvement.
Yes, but I do not wish to step on the toes, Inspector.
Thank you. Is there anything useful of you?
One or 2 points, I think.
So do you think we should...
First, I think perhaps we should view the body. Such disarrangement.
Lock forced. So there's no mystery about how they got in. Javelin went right through her. This must have been pretty well instantaneous. Dead a couple of hours. You came out here with Miss Johnson and discovered the body, Miss Javelin? What time was that?
I looked at my watch when Miss Johnson roused me. It was 10 minutes to 1.
Right, good. Dead woman's prints on the torch she came out here with her. Why?
No idea at all. She might have forgotten something and come to fetch it.
Right. Did you have any problem with the torch?
No, I don't think so. She was in the kitchen. 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 She was in the kitchen.
It seems rather unlikely in the middle of the night.
But perhaps she saw the light on, as did Mademoiselle Johnson.
She came out here to investigate. And whoever was here was surprised. There was a struggle, Miss Springer was a gameman. I pressed her, stabbed through the chest. Seem right to you?
I suppose so.
But it does not seem right to Poirot. And Mademoiselle Springer should see the light and be intrigued more. Whether the person she disturbed should kill her, and in a manner so brutal? No. No, it is all wrong.
Right through her, apparently.
No. Oh, gosh, that's awful. I wouldn't want to do something like that.
Oh, who wouldn't, more like? Fatty Forbes could have squashed her to death. But I don't think she could even pick up a javelin.
Oh, God. I'm getting the screaming memes. I swear someone's been rooting around in the room. Shh. I've just heard. It's terrible.
Yes, Miss Springer. I do not mean that. Don't you see? They meant to kill me.
I'm so sorry you feel this way, Mrs. Forbes.
Oh, I'm sorry too, but you must understand. The very idea of my little Patricia in the same school where a murderer... I quite understand. Goodbye, Patricia. I do hope we'll see you next time.
St. Winifred's, then?
Yes, Harry. St. Winifred's. This is very serious. The most serious thing Meadowbank's ever faced.
Just a moment. The Emir Ibrahim is in London, Miss Bulstrode. He wants to take the Princess Shaista out tomorrow.
To take her out of the school?
No, just out for lunch.
Oh. Yes, by all means, but she must be back by 8 o'clock.
Hello? Yes, that's quite all right. Goodbye. Hello, Meadowbank School.
The psychology, Inspector. It is fascinating, is it not? A pupil with a loathing most deep for Mademoiselle Springer, a colleague who was jealous, or a lover thwarted.
Well, even gangs mistresses have their love lives. We shall see. Nobody's got an alibi except the two who found her, Miss Johnson and Miss Chadwick. Theoretically, everyone else was asleep in bed. But there's no one to vouch for that. The girls and the staff have separate rooms. Any one of them could have gone out to the gymnasium and met Miss Springer, or could have followed her there. Then, having done her in, they could dodge back quietly through the bushes to the side door and be nicely back in bed when the alarm was given.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's get on then. Miss Blake, first. Arts and dance.
Oh, I'm sorry about this. One of the girls, she insists on seeing you.
There have been people watching this place. Oh, they do not show themselves clearly, but they are there.
And why should they do that?
Because of me, they want to assassinate me. Miss Springer, she must have found out about them. Perhaps they promised to pay her money if she said nothing. So she goes to the sports pavilion where they say they would pay her, and they kill her.
Now look, young lady, I don't have time for this nonsense.
It is not nonsense. My cousin was the Prince Ali Yusuf of Ramat. I am next in line to the throne. These butchers, they do not want me to be the focus of rebellion.
Perhaps there is something in what she says, Inspector. I'm so sorry. Forgive my clumsiness.
Everything you've told me so far points to Miss Springer being very sure of herself.
Too sure. She hinted at people being not what they seemed.
Did she know?
She mentioned that at her last school she had unmasked someone, but that the staff had been against her. You see what that means? The beginnings of a persecution complex.
Naturellement.
More psychology. Well, someone certainly had it in for Miss Springer with a vengeance.
And a javelin.
Can't say I cared for her. Brusque.
As for her treatment of the girls, sadistic. Of course, I know this is a horrible business, but... Could I have a glass of water, please?
Thank you. I have my own sitting room and don't see much of the staff. The whole thing's unbelievable.
How so, mademoiselle?
Well, first that Miss Springer should get killed at all. And say someone broke into the gymnasium and she went out to see who it was. That's all right, I suppose, but who'd want to break into there?
Local children wanted to help themselves to the sports equipment.
If that's so, I can't help feeling Miss Springer would have given the clip around the ear and not get herself stabbed to death.
And you noticed nothing unusual recently?
Well...
Yes, miss, that it?
It's nothing, really. But one of the gardeners, the young one...
Which young one?
His name is Adam Goodman, Inspector. He arrived only this time.
Well, he seemed very interested in the pavilion. Probably just curious or slacking off work. But...
But?
His manner was a little odd. Defiant. He sneered at all the money that was spent on the girls.
I see.
My first term, yes. I do not think I wish to remain for another.
Oh?
It is not nice to be in a school where people are murdered.
The Mademoiselle Springer, did you know her well?
Practically not at all. A rude and ugly woman, like a caricature of an English woman. She was rude to me. She didn't like me going to her sports pavilion. Her sports pavilion.
But, forgive me, mademoiselle. What reason did you have for entering in there?
I was interested in the building, that is all.
Last time, mademoiselle, you are unwell?
Yes.
The nature of this illness?
Well, that's private.
Mademoiselle, we are here to investigate a murder. Everything must be brought out into the light.
Really? And what about you?
What?
Well, all that guff about looking round the school on behalf of the King of Belgium.
Ah. So you penetrated the little deception of Poirot, huh?
Not too hard. No offence. In a way, I'm not surprised something like this has happened. Ever since I've come back, it's as though there was someone among us who didn't belong. A cat among the pigeons.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
Do you mind if I join you?
It's a free country. I hope you've bought your own hard-boiled egg. I'm afraid I've only enough for me.
That's okay.
How appropriate.
Hmm?
Adam, isn't it?
Yes. Anne.
Excuse me, Miss Shapland.
Just doesn't seem like your thing, that's all. Shut away in a girls' school.
How do you know what my thing was?
Just don't seem the type.
I like variety.
Ah.
Anyway, I could say the same thing about you.
Yes.
Good-looking young man.
Ah. Good looking, eh?
Spending his days planting chrysanthemums in a girls' school.
Angelicus. Chrysanthemums won't take. It's the soil. In case you hadn't noticed, there's a depression on. I get work wherever I can.
I'm sorry if I've given offence.
None taken.
I don't mind. Honestly, you can have it back.
No, we swapped fair and square. I'll just have to ask Mummy for a new one.
It's funny, isn't it? Now they've finished searching the pavilion, your racket...
Your racket, really.
...is the only thing to go missing. Oh, to think that's all the killer got away with.
I don't think anyone would kill poor old Springer for a tennis racket.
I don't know anything about any murder! I told you! All right. Thank you, Constable. Now then, Mr. Goodman.
Before we go any further, sir.
Blimey.
Hello, Monsieur Goodman. Perhaps you would be good enough to tell us what an agent in His Majesty's Secret Service is doing here at the Meadowbank School.
No sense dwelling on it, Chaddy. We'll be all right if we keep our heads.
There's something you should know.
You are here because of the death of Prince Ali Yusuf of Ramah. Are you not, Monsieur Goodman?
Yes, sir. He was killed, attempting to flee his country. Damn shame, really. Prince Ali would have made an enlightened ruler. He was a Democrat, which is probably what did the poor chap in. Anyway, just before all hell broke loose out there, we'd been picking up some interesting bits of chatter. Seems someone was trying to get close to the prince through an English friend of his, named of Bob Rawlinson.
To get close to him with what purpose?
To destabilize the regime, we supposed. There's actually very little to go on. Just a name. Angel. And now the next in line to the throne is here, at Meadowbank.
The princess? Bloody hell, she said she was being watched. Maybe she was right. Maybe that's why Miss Springer was murdered.
But that is not the only reason you are here at Meadowbank School. Jennifer Sutcliffe, no? The niece of Bob Rawlinson?
You're very well informed, sir.
Ah, mademoiselle. You depart?
I go for lunch with my uncle at Claridge's. At least there I will not die a horrible death.
Well, that rather depends, I think, mademoiselle, on the quality of the cuisine. Georges, c'est moi, Poirot. I have for you the little task.
Is he going to continue to be my gardener?
If you don't object. Puts him right in the centre of things.
I hope you're not expecting more murders.
Ah, I'm sure not.
Good. Because I doubt if the school could survive 2 homicides in 1 week.
Now, Miss Rich has told us, thank you, she felt that there's been a strange sort of atmosphere.
Yes, I'd concur. Miss Chadwick said the same thing.
No, thank you. And you, mademoiselle? Have you noticed anyone behaving in a way bizarre?
It's just a feeling, really. Unless...
Yes?
Something happened on the first day of term, when you presented the Pemberton Shield. It was when that dreadful creature, Lady Veronica, rolled up.
I'm so sorry. No, excuse me. Miss Bulstrode, so glad I've caught you. Is something the matter?
I wasn't really listening. One developed a method of tuning out, like a wireless, you see. And I was far too concerned with what Lady Veronica was getting up to. But when Mrs. Upjohn left me, I couldn't shake off the feeling that I'd missed something very important. She'd seen someone she thought was dead.
I think we knew all the agents from the files.
Really, the most extraordinary resemblance. It was espionage she was talking about. Had to be. But it seems so absurd.
I suppose the Secret Service recruits from all walks of life. It's quite possible Mrs. Upjohn worked for them, without being some sort of female bulldog Drummond. I'll get Goodman onto it.
There was a word. A name.
I think, mademoiselle, this may be of vital importance.
It's not possible. The angel. Angel. The angel, that was it.
Someone she recognized. A parent? Or a relation of one of the pupils? Or a teacher?
Hardly a teacher.
But it is possible.
Well, that's easily solved. We'll get Mrs. Upjohn down here right away.
There is a problem.
Mrs. Upjohn has gone to Anatolia. On a bus.
Where? On a bus?
Excuse I, Miss B. The Emir's car has just arrived and we can't find the wretched Princess Shaista.
Must be some mistake. The Emir's car called for her an hour ago.
Oh, well, probably a double booking. I'll go down and give them a flea in their ear.
Monsieur Poirot, could I have a word with you?
But of course, mademoiselle.
I just found it, I swear.
Found it? Where, Sutai?
In the flower beds. I thought...
Yes?
Well, it does look a lot like Miss Springer.
I thought it might be, you know, a clue.
Indeed it might. You permit? Merci. The face of the unfortunate Mademoiselle Springer. It has been well captured, you would say?
Very.
Bon.
Honoria.
What is it?
Princess Shaista.
No, she's gone. The Emir ran from Claridge's and everything, and Shaista never turned up. Gross. I think I might swoon if anything else happens. It's just too true. I reckon she's been nabbed. Must have been. White slavers, you think? Oh, hardly. Why not? Well, she's not white for one thing. Come on, better get to bed before Chadwick stops us.
A word, Mr. Goodman. Kidnapped from under your nose?
Yes. The last thing you need is more publicity. We're going to put it about that the girl staying with her uncle at Claridge's.
Thank you. I'll speak to you first thing.
Miss Chadwick would be in charge for a while. I have to go to town tonight. There's a meeting of the governors. It's unavoidable, I'm afraid. They're very worried.
Does Poirot have any theories about the missing princess?
It's very odd. He didn't seem concerned about her at all. No sense in denying it, I suppose.
No, mademoiselle.
How did you...
It was the straw. It smelled of the oil paint. And I would suggest that this oil paint came from one of the packing cases that I observed when first I arrived. Also your skill. It gave you away. Such artistry, lavished upon an object of such hate.
Oh, I did hate her. My God, I let off a lot of steam stabbing that thing, I can tell you, thinking of her. Had to get rid of it, of course, when she died. Thought I had.
But tell me, Mademoiselle Blake, what had Mademoiselle Springer done to you to be deserving of such an effigy?
It was just a bit of nonsense, that's all. She was a bully and a vulgarian. I can't bear people like that. I made it for fun, Mr. Poirot. I didn't know she was going to go and get herself skewered, did I? Julia. Oh, it's you. Oh, thank goodness. What's up?
As if murder weren't enough. Now kidnapping.
Has anyone looked in Shaista's room and her things?
Police must have, I suppose. If she's anything like the rest of the girls, she wouldn't leave love letters or anything lying about.
No, she'd want them well away from prying eyes. See you later.
Have you got a penknife, Jen? What are you doing that for? You thought someone had been in your room, right? Yes. Looking for something. Something they didn't find.
What a wonderful evening.
Sorry. It's only 2 left feet.
At least.
Well, smashing though.
Natural grey stone. What do you think about Miss Springer, then?
Staying well out of it.
Oh, something to hide.
Curiosity killed the cat?
I wonder if it did. You know, I've never had a chance to display my talents as a sleuth. I think I might be rather good at it.
Go on, then. Test your skills on me.
I'm sure you're hiding something. Then again, aren't we all?
Are you all right?
There's something I want to tell you.
Entrez.
Forgive me, Monsieur Poirot.
It is Mademoiselle Upjohn, is it not? How may I be of help, Mademoiselle? You know, this is very late to call upon Poirot.
No one likes to brag about having a mother in the booby hat.
I'm sure no one would hold it against you.
They. Some of the high flyers I've worked for, Adam, they certainly would. Even here at Meadowbank. Imagine the whispering if it got out. Poor Mum. Your turn.
Come on.
Blimey, that's something. I mean, the wife has paste ones, wears them at Christmas and so on. All very pretty,
but nothing when compared to the real thing, eh, Inspector? Yes, this gem, it is indeed most glorious, huh? Part of the treasure of Prince Ali Yusuf that was smuggled out of Ramah at the time of the revolution.
Is that what all this is about? Someone's after the gems? But what would that have to do with Miss Ridge?
It's not as bad as we feared. They say she'll pull through. Obviously, she can't tell us anything at the moment.
She was struck from behind?
Yes, with a sandbag from one of the fire buckets.
What was she doing out in the pavilion?
Miss Chadwick found her in front of Princess Shaista's locker. Poor Chaddy. She's very shaken. It happened on her watch, so she's blaming herself. Murder. Now this. And a kidnapping on top of everything else.
But I expect developments at any moment on that matter, Mademoiselle. Well, tell to me, if you please. Did you ever notice the knees of Princess Shaista?
Knees?
Why?
No. Why should I?
Poirot noticed.
Ramat rubies. Worn by 10 generations of the royal family. It's like something out of Arabian Nights. And hidden in the handle of a tennis racket.
Jennifer said the balance was all wrong, didn't you, Jen? I can see now why that was.
So you conject perhaps that someone knew what was inside?
Yes, but of course, we'd swapped, so they ended up with the wrong one. Wasn't it thrilling?
Most thrilling indeed.
And then I remembered that Jen's parents had been both, just before term started. So, maybe, whoever it is, was already looking for the tennis racket.
Excellent, Mademoiselle. You think like a detective.
It has to have been someone who was out there in Ramat. Someone who saw the jewels being hidden.
Uncle Bob had a girlfriend. Maybe it was her?
A girlfriend?
Apparently, Spanish or French. Some sort of belly dancer. Angelica, that was it.
Mademoiselle, we need to detain you no longer.
Oh, I don't mind. Most of the girls have been taken out of school. The sainted parentals are panicking. Poor Jen's off this afternoon, aren't you?
Yes, worse luck. Just when it was getting interesting.
Mademoiselle.
Angelica, the angel. Coincidence?
Is there such a person? An agent, perhaps, in your files, Monsieur Goodman?
I checked when that nickname first came up. There was an agent named the Angel, but she was killed 10, 15 years ago.
Was there a photograph?
Probably. There was a fire. Records destroyed, I'm afraid.
I see. And the files concerning the revolution in Ramah, I may be permitted to see them?
Yes, of course. I'll see to it at once.
Yes. How goes the search for Madame Upjohn, Inspector?
Well, when Miss Bulstrode says she was on a bus, I imagine some sort of Thomas Cook's tours or what have you.
But?
It seems that Mrs. Upjohn is what you might call a free spirit. Took off on her own with only a carpet bag, determined to see the world. We did our best, but finding a lone English woman in a country where they probably use chickens for currency.
News from the hospital. Miss Rich is coming round.
Miss Johnson says you were searching for clues to the princess's disappearance. Is that why you were in the sports pavilion?
Yes. I had an idea. I thought maybe she'd arranged to meet a boy. There are lockers in the school, of course, but the pavilion would be the perfect place to hide anything confidential. I mean, it's locked most of the time, and what with all the police activity.
You're right.
I'm tired. Just tired. I don't suppose you could say who you think may have...
Well, Miss Chadwick Saturday, because she found you, and then Miss Chaplin and Mr. Goodman found her. They spent the whole evening together. Miss Blake was with Mr. Poirot. Miss Bulstrode was with the school governors.
No.
Beg pardon?
Poirot has checked. The meeting with the governors was not until this morning. Mademoiselle Bulstrode left the school at 7:30 last night.
Very well. Excuse me.
What of the French mistress?
She said she went to bed and heard nothing until the alarm was given. We've no evidence to the contrary, but Miss Chadwick says she's sly.
She's got a thing about the French.
Look, aren't we missing the obvious? Bob Rawlinson's girlfriend is Angelica. French.
But the identity of this Angelica... Well, there is more than one possibility.
What are we going to do? It's like a blasted exodus.
Who will lead us into the promised land?
What?
Who will you name as your successor, Gloria?
Well, that's rather an academic question, isn't it? Meadowbank won't survive this scandal. Why do you ask?
I saw the note. The one you drafted. It was on Miss Chaplin's typewriter. I shouldn't have looked.
Oh, Chaddy. I haven't made up my mind. I was just checking Eileen Rich's references.
I have given everything to this school, Honoria. My whole life. I have given everything.
Chaddy, wait, let me speak.
Miss Bulstrode, I take the afternoon off now, as arranged.
Oh, yes, yeah. It hardly matters. There's so few girls left. Chaddy, wait, I must speak to you.
Mademoiselle, where were you during the last term?
I told you. I was ill.
But once again I ask, the nature of this illness.
Well, that's none of your business.
Poirot knows all, mademoiselle.
How?
He does not tax the little grey cells very much, mademoiselle. To connect the loss of weight, the sudden emotion expressed at the reading of the beautiful little poem. Look, Lizzie, look. Down the glen tramped the little Nan.
They're evil gifts. Their evil gifts would harm us.
Courage, mademoiselle.
I so wanted to have the child. But I didn't want to lose my job. I loved Meadowbank. So I went away, out of the country, where no one would know.
And what became?
He died. Miss Springer found out. Somehow. She tormented me with it. Like she enjoyed it.
It is over now.
What's going on, Poirot? You're hiding something, keeping me in the bloody dark.
Au contraire, Inspector. I only wish to illuminate matters. There is a certain car whose number Poirot took the care to note. The card has been found and the owner traced. And so Poirot would like to propose a little excursion to a nightclub known as the Glass Slipper.
This is Maison Blanche again. You understand me? I have to speak of an account that is owed. You have until later tonight. No, you have had plenty of time to settle this. If the money is not paid, it will be necessary for me to report what I observed on the night of the 16th. You understand me? Very well. Where?
Good evening, Princess Shaista.
Clammed up like a Scotsman's wallet. Amula.
I can't believe it. She looks so different, mature.
Precisement.
You've lost me, Poirot. Was she kidnapped or wasn't she?
Yes and no, Inspector. The real Princess Shaista was abducted in Switzerland. I would imagine that she is still there. The revolutionaries of Ramat sent a substitute to the Meadowbank School.
What the hell for?
I think I get it. If the prince's jewels left Ramat in friendly hands, then sooner or later they'd be brought to the princess.
Her uncle, the Emir, was in Egypt and had no plans to visit his country, so the impostor could await the arrival of a certain package. However, I did ask Mademoiselle Bulstrode if she noticed the knees of the princess.
Knees?
Oh, oui. The knees are a very good indication of age, Inspector. For example, the knees of a woman of 24 or 25 can never be mistaken for those belonging to a young girl of 14 or 15. But nobody else except Poirot noticed her knees. But the plan, it did not work, did it, mademoiselle? Nobody tries to contact you. There are no letters, no telephone calls. The Emir could arrive at any moment. And then he would realize that this princess to be an impostor. When the fatal moment arrives, the well-laid plan was put into action. Shaista was officially kidnapped.
And went where?
You work for the revolutionaries. Yes? You might as well admit it. You burgled Mrs. Sutcliffe's place, and when there was nothing there, you turned your attention to the school.
You can't hold me, eh? I've got bloody rights.
We'll see about that.
The false Shaista could, of course, have killed Mademoiselle Springer, but I do not think she had the motive to kill anyone. No, her role was simply to receive a package most valuable that never arrived. And the reason? Because nobody knew exactly how the jewels of Prince Ali Yusuf were smuggled out of Ramat. Nobody, that is, except for one person.
You would be ill-advised to play games with me. Give me what I need, and I will return to France. No one will ever hear from me again, or hear what I know. This cat and mouse game is tiresome. I am growing angry. Give to me what is owed, and I promise that I will...
There you are, sir. Light in the darkness.
She has arrived?
Yeah. Now maybe we'll get some.
No, Inspector. This is insurance merely. The case? It is solved. It must have seemed that there was a sort of vendetta against the mistresses of Meadowbank. But I can assure you that this was not so.
Could have fooled me.
There have been here 2 murders, an attempted murder, and what appeared to be a kidnapping. But I understand from Mademoiselle Bulstrode that this kidnapping, it has already been explained to you? Huh?
I said, didn't I? That whole business with the Brazil.
All through this affair, the problem it has been to clear out of the way all the extraneous matters, which, though criminal in themselves, obscure the thread most important, the thread that leads us to a killer who is determined, ruthless, and in your midst. A cat among the pigeons. The threads of this case begin in Ramah, where, as you know, a revolutionary coup d'etat took place. It is now a few months ago. At the same time as this coup, the jewels most fabulous that belonged to the late Prince Ali Yusuf were spirited out of the country, and certain persons were most anxious to get hold of them. I now know, from the files in your secret service, that the great friend of the prince, Monsieur Bob Rawlinson, was under the observation most secret. He was observed to spend 20 minutes in the hotel room of his sister, Madame Sutcliffe, who was visiting from England. But she was not there in the room. So why spend 20 minutes in a room that was empty? Because he was seeking most desperately the means of smuggling these jewels out of the country until a safer time. So he places the valuables in the luggage of his sister. Well, the revolutionaries eventually determined that Madame Sutcliffe brought the jewels back to England, and in consequence her house. It is ransacked. But Poirot says someone else knew exactly where were these jewels. En effet, they were concealed within the handle of a tennis racket that belonged to the daughter of Madame Sutcliffe, Jennifer Sutcliffe. And it was she who brought this tennis racket to Meadowbank School. But someone within this school knew the location of these jewels. For the room of Jennifer Sutcliffe, it had already been searched. But now they turned their attention to the sports pavilion, and this person assumes that everybody would be in bed asleep, huh? But this was not the case. For Mademoiselle Springer is watching. And she follows. She confronts this person in much the same way as she has in the past. Well, she intends to have her amusement, and for the character of Mademoiselle Springer, it is sadistic, no? Already she has warned the staff at Meadowbank School in terms most unsubtle that she enjoys to sniff out a scandal. And already she has a clause in more than one teacher because she knows that their little weaknesses are foibles. Not naturellement. She knows nothing of the rubies of the prince. No, she is safe. She is smug.
Quite the dark horse, aren't you?
She will enjoy watching her new victim squirm like the worm on the end of the fishing hook. But she has failed to take into account the character of her victim. A person who is cold, ruthless, a killer. Who wished to silence her? Mademoiselle Blake, par exemple? She who lavished such care in creating an effigy of straw of the game's mistress so hated, and derived a pleasure at stabbing at it? Again and again and again? Why should she do this? Mademoiselle?
At my last school, there was a boy, a pupil. It was inappropriate. It hardly amounted to anything, but I had to leave. It's a wretchedness. I don't know how Springer found out, but she made my life hell. I could gladly have stuck that javelin in her, Mr. Poirot. But I didn't. I didn't kill her.
No. No, for the psychology tells to me that your instincts, they are creative, not destructive. Huh? No. No, it was not Mademoiselle Blake who killed Mademoiselle Springer. So let us return now to the night of the murder. The killer must act rapidly, because at any moment there might be disturbed. So, the tennis racket belonging to Jennifer Sutcliffe, it is found, grabbed, and the killer disappears into the night. But what, of course, the killer cannot know is that a short while before, Jennifer Sutcliffe had exchanged the rackets with Julia Upjohn and swapped the tapes that bore their names. And now we come to the second incident. The attack on Mademoiselle Rich, which came soon after tragedy. Why were you in the sports pavilion that night, Mademoiselle?
I wanted to search Princess Scheister's locker to see if there were any clues as to where she'd got to.
Bon. But someone followed you there, huh? And struck you on the back of the head with a sandbag as you knelt down in front of the locker of Princess Scheister. Who could this have been? And again, this crime was discovered almost at once because... Was it Chadwick? You saw the light on in the pavilion, huh? And hurried out there, huh? Many of you have the alibi most strong. But where was Mademoiselle Bulstrode? The meeting with the governors was not until the next morning, and she left the school at 7:30 that evening. So could it be Mademoiselle Bulstrode that struck down Mademoiselle Rich? No. No, because Mademoiselle Bulstrode was on a mission most delicate. The discovery that la pauvre maman of one of her colleagues lives out her days in the lunatic asylum.
You knew? Yes, my dear. Someone alerted me. For the care of A. Shapland. Same initials. I had to look into it. Especially with all the whispering about somebody being not quite right in our midst.
So there now remains to consider the murder of Mademoiselle Blanche. I believe that Mademoiselle Blanche knew the identity of this killer, but nothing. Rien is more dangerous than to levy the blackmail on a person who has killed at least once. Mademoiselle Blanche, she makes an appointment with the murderer, and of course, she is killed. There, mes amis, you have an account of this whole affair.
And now what?
Eh bien, let us to consider. The knowledge that these jewels were concealed within the handle of a tennis racket could only have been acquired in one way. Someone must have seen them put in there. Any one of you could have been in Roma over the summer. You, for example, Mademoiselle Rich?
No. I was ill. I was away for a term.
For a term, yes. But over the summer, you could have been in Roma.
Do you know where I was?
You promised, Kia. Hasn't the poor girl suffered enough? Why do we have to go through these wretched theatricals? I must protest.
With that car, Mademoiselle Rich was not in Roma. That has been ascertained. But someone was there. The angel was there. And here, Poirot must present to you a person most significant, a person that many of you have never before encountered, Madame Upjohn. Well, the maman of Julia Upjohn. And in the years past, she was a member of the British Secret Service.
Secret Service?
Oui. You know, on the day that Poirot presented the Pemberton Shield, Madame Upjohn recognizes a face in the crowd. The face of an agent, most dangerous. A killer. A person known as the Angel. Whom she thought long dead. But she dismisses the idea of his resemblance no more. But a member of the staff was watching most closely. And we now know that Mademoiselle Springer realizes that the Angel has been identified and is very much alive. I suspect that this angel was working for the revolutionaries in Roma, eating away at the very foundations of the government of Prince Ali Yusuf. And in so doing, she forms a relationship most intense with a great friend of the prince, Bob Rawlinson. And then one day, purely by chance, she sees something extraordinaire. A treasure so magnifique that she will be secure all her life. She determines to retrieve these jewels herself in her own identity. as a free agent, not as a paid lackey of the revolutionaries. Who could this be? You, Mademoiselle Chapeland.
What?
Oh, you would live the life most dangerous, mademoiselle. But you have never been suspected in your own identity. All the jobs you have taken have been most genuine, yes. But all with the purpose singular, the obtaining of information. Ever since you were 17, mademoiselle, you have been a secret agent. You have worked for many different masters in many different guises. But it was in the guise of Angelique the Book, the cabaret dancer française, that you spent the summer in Rama.
Come on, Monsieur Poirot, that's impossible.
Impossible? No. There was no opportunity of taking a tennis racket there and then because of the evacuation most sudden of the British people. And to obtain a secretarial position here, it was not difficult. I propose that you pay the sum most substantial to the former secretary of Mademoiselle Bulstrode.
Vera?
Well, to vacate her post. Oh, no, everything is easy, is it not, huh? If a tennis racket of a child went missing, what of it? And simpler still, you could now gain access to the sports pavilion at night and abstract the jewels. But you had failed to take into account Mademoiselle Springer.
This is crazy. Oh, Miss Bulstrode, you can't honestly. Anyway, where's your proof? You haven't a shred of...
Now! It's now!
There, that's her. I was right. I was right. Put it down now.
No, miss. Shan't.
I'll go. It's very bad. The school? She was only a slip of a thing. Lethal. Bitch. You bitch. I recognized her face from the files. But she was dead. Killed on a mission in Silesia.
Oh, so you thought?
Ambulance is on its way.
I'll get her straight to the hospital.
Christ almighty. I thought...
What, lovely boy? You thought you'd made a pretty good catch? I've eaten better fellas than you for breakfast. You're just a bit of fluff until the fuss died down I could get away. It was that Gorgon Springer who started to unravel it all. What the hell do you want?
Oh, don't worry.
Your secret's safe with me. For now. I said, what do you want? Father. I wiped the smile off her face.
But still you couldn't find the jewels, huh? And then later, Mademoiselle Blanche, she tries to blackmail you and you kill her. It comes so natural to you, does it not? To kill.
Natural as breathing, darling.
Sir, let's get her out. And Chaplin, I'm arresting you for the murder of Grace Springer and Elise Blanche.
Mr. Drake.
Monsieur Poirot, I don't understand. I mean, that still leaves the attack of Miss Rich. She couldn't have done it. We were together all evening.
Oui, d'accord. No, it was not she who tried to kill Mademoiselle Rich.
Then who did try to kill me?
She loved Meadowbank too much, I think.
And when I spoke of retiring...
She regarded herself as the only person who could take over.
But she was too old. She must have known that.
She could not think clearly, I fear. Something in her mind must have snapped. Once again, she sees the light in the pavilion. She thinks she can prove herself by catching the killer. She picks up a sandbag from a fire bucket, and what does she find? Eileen Rich, her rival, and all the resentment, all the mounting pressure of the last few weeks. Suddenly it breaks. But this was a moment of madness. Mademoiselle Chadwick is not a killer by nature. And what she told to the police was the truth exactly, except for the fact that it was she who struck the blow. At once, her mind rebels at what she has done.
That's why Anne Chaplin used a sandbag to kill Mademoiselle Blanche.
Précisément. Anne Chaplin, huh? A young woman who is very clever. Out of the blue comes this second attack, for which, of course, she has the alibi. And later she thinks she can tie up the murder of Mademoiselle Blanche with this. But, of course, it is only natural to assume that it was the work of the same person.
Hello, Chaddy. I want to tell you something. Eileen Rich. Yes. I know. Jealous. I know. I can't. I'll never forgive myself. You saved my life, Chaddy. My life and the life of Mrs. Upjohn. That counts for something, doesn't it? Only wish I could have given my life for both of you. That would have made it all right. You did, my dear. You did.
Would you like me to leave now, or would you prefer I waited until the end of term?
I beg your pardon?
I presume you know the reason why I was away.
We'll stay till the end of term. And if there is a new one here, which I still hope, you'll come back.
You mean you still want me?
Of course I still want you. You haven't murdered anyone, have you?
No.
Teaching is your vocation. I know it is. Well, we'll need 3 or 4 years to put Meadowbank back on the map.
We?
I'm offering you a partnership.
Oh.
You'll have different ideas, of course. That's the way it should be. I don't suppose we'll agree about everything.
No, I don't suppose we shall.
Monsieur Poirot, I've made the right choice, have I?
Well, Poirot had come to the same conclusion about Mademoiselle Rich some time before. And now it is time for Poirot to excuse himself. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, de rien. And you, mademoiselle? The challenge, it has returned, no?
Oh, yes. Always at my best when I'm up against it. Meadowbank will once again be the finest school in England.
Well, I'm glad we sorted all that out, monsieur.
Au revoir, Inspector.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Madame Upjohn?
Oh, Monsieur Poirot.
You should be very proud of your little one. She has shown that great courage.
Never mind that, Mr. P. What about Mummy here? A secret agent? All this time and I never knew.
Well, not really.
She's told me all about the shooting and Miss Chaplin, and I think it is bloody exciting.
La.
Sorry, but it is. I suppose school's going to be awfully dreary now. People aren't getting bumped off all over the place. Are you heading back to town?
Alas, oui. I have an appointment with your Foreign Office. There is a little matter of a king's ransom in rubies that must be returned.
Oh, yes. Oh, they were rather smashing.
Oui.
No chance they could be regarded as, whatchamacallit, treasure trove.
No. The jewels, they must be returned to their rightful owner, the real Princess Shaista, who has been found to live a life quite pleasant in a Swiss chalet. But, in recognition of your assistance so great in this affair so dangerous, I have been authorized to present to you un petit cadeau.
What are they?
I believe they are called the Gobstoppers.
Oh, super.
We'll say thank you to Monsieur Poirot, Juliet.
Thank you.
You will not bring mademoiselle. Oh, mademoiselle, please to take care when eating the red one, huh? It has the center most hard.
Sir, I said so. I know, Bob. I know.
Game's up, I'm afraid, John.
Nearly enough. You did get them out. You're sure of it?
Safe as houses. I swear it.
Ready then?
Ready.
Come on.
We'll not have you showing us up again, Lucian. Mrs. Hall says the antimacassars still reek of fries, Wilson. This is Patricia's day, not yours.
Hells bells, get a move on. Ruddy people. Blasted school. I don't know why we have to send the child here. What's wrong with St. Winifred's?
Must we go through this again? It's the best girls' school in England.
It's certainly the dearest.
So, Lydia, did you enjoy your Hellenic cruise?
Oh, yes, thanks awfully, Miss Bulstrode.
Are you going to give us a lecture?
Could you pop over there, please? Ah, Pamela Price. From the Truth We'll come now.
I'm afraid you'll find things rather ordinary here compared with Switzerland, Princess Shaista.
Oh, you do not know how much I've been looking forward to coming to Meadowbank. Swiss, they are a very regular people. I like England. Things are not so regular.
But there are still rules.
Of course.
And may I offer my sincere condolences?
Condolences?
Your fiancé, Prince Ali. I understand he was killed.
Well, we never met, of course. It was arranged years ago. I was just a child. Perhaps I'll find my husband here in England.
Yes, well, we mustn't run before we can walk, must we?
Looking for Miss Bulstrode. Oh, you must be Miss Chaplin? Unless it's Chadwick, mathematics.
Call me Anne, please.
Everyone knows me. Been here since before the Ark.
I only hope I can live up to Meadowbank standards.
Oh, you'll fit right in, my dear. Look at that desk. A model of efficiency. Vera's used to resemble the Ardennes after a heavy German pounding.
Vera?
You got her job? Oh, very irritating. Gave up the post all of a sudden. Something to do with a man, apparently.
We'd better be getting along.
Ah.
So sorry. No go out on the glass, I trust.
Fortunately not.
Good. Supplies for my budding Michelangelo. Do you see? Monsieur Poirot.
Oh, the estimable Mademoiselle Bulstrode. What a pleasure it is to see you again. And the day progresses as hoped?
Speaking to parents is like feeding dogs. One simply pops soothing platitudes into every waiting mouth.
The platitudes, surely not, Mademoiselle. For your so wonderful Meadowbank, does not its fame rest upon how you regard your young ladies? As individuals?
You're so kind. And thank you once again for coming.
De rien.
The mayor is blaming his ulcers, but I suspect foul play.
Come on.
Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Kick-offs at 3. I know where his worship's loyalties lie.
Impossible! Never, never, never!
Everyone else seems happy.
I am not everyone else. I am someone, the Princess Shaista, and yet you want to imprison me in this mean little hovel. The window is tiny. The bed is hard as diamond.
Shaista.
Princess Shaista.
Now, no more of that. All the girls are equal here in Meadowbank.
But in Switzerland...
Yes. Well, we're not in Switzerland anymore, are we? Come along. We mustn't be late.
Alison Whelan, stop being such a silly goose. Now run along. Oh.
Steady, miss. Morning, miss.
I say, Froggy, put those papers back in, why don't you? A dumb thing over here to ogle serves.
Oh, don't touch me. I'm not used to being treated in this fashion.
Don't worry. This isn't assembly. Just a few words before our distinguished guest presents the Pemberton Shield. I'm sure pupils and parents alike will be pleased to welcome back Miss Rich, who we trust is feeling tip-top again. And to say hello to Mademoiselle Blanche, our new French mistress. It now only remains for me to introduce our guest of honor, a personality of international renown, Monsieur Hercule Poirot.
Mesdames, Messieurs, but most importantly of all of you young ladies, if Poirot has the renown international, then surely he shares this honor with the great Meadowbank.
Who's he? Oh, you... Oh, really, Jennifer, you're an awful wet blanket sometimes. How many revolutions have you seen up close? And Mummy had a burglary last month. That's nothing. Don't you read the papers? Mr. Poirot has been caught up in some absolutely snorting killings.
And now, to add luster to its name, after the Tournament International, which was so thrilling,
He looks a bit like a penguin.
the winning of the prize most renowned, the Pemberton Lacrosse Shield. Was it not a great Dr. Arnold who said...
God, I'm desperate for Gaster. Please, Miss Brown. Some of us are actually listening, you know.
Oh, yes. Must all be on our best behaviour, mustn't we?
What do you, Miss Springer?
Does not fail him.
Could ask you the same thing.
Most of all, pray for.
Everyone smile, please. Good.
Julia's been dying to know, monsieur. Oh, go on, monsieur. Tell us about some of your murders. Only the juicy ones, mind.
The juicy ones, come on.
Well, of course. Poison's so passé, and anything with firearms is positively vulgar, but smashing in someone's noggin with a blunt instrument now. Go on.
Yes, girls, that will do.
I am obliged to you.
I suspected a rescue was in order. She's a bright girl, Julia Upton, but she's a little wayward. And the friend's a bit of a puzzle.
A puzzle? How so?
Jennifer Sutcliffe. She's deep. She got caught up in that revolution in Ramat just recently.
Ah, yes. The Prince Ali Yusuf. He was killed, was he not?
Dreadful business. Jennifer was out there visiting her uncle. He was killed too, poor man. She and her mother got out just in time.
Mademoiselle, something... It is troubling you.
No.
Come now. We're old friends.
Well, the fact is, I've decided to move on. Retire.
Retire? Oh, Mademoiselle, you are still so young.
Not because I don't feel up to it physically, quite the reverse. The school's never been better.
I comprehend. The challenge, it has gone.
And remember, you're not to play tennis if it's too cold.
I'll be just fine, Mummy. Do stop fretting.
Oh, I can't help it. I'm a fretter, Julia. Now, you've got everything you need.
Yes. Oh, can I get back now?
Now, I must find Miss Bulstrode.
Bye-bye.
Who is to be your successor?
Well, everyone assumes it'll be Miss Chadwick, of course. We founded the place together. She's an absolute brick, dear Chaddy.
But you think...
Meadowbank works because I've taken risks. It's an unconventional place. Miss Chadwick will preserve Meadowbank in aspect if she could, and I think that would be a great shame.
And what are the other candidates?
That's the problem. There doesn't seem to be anyone else. I wonder, Monsieur Poirot, would it be a great imposition for you to stay at the school, get the measure of the staff, and help me make up my mind? You're such an excellent judge of character, and your knowledge of human nature is unsurpassed. Oh, Lord.
How was that?
Lady Veronica Carlton Sandways. She's a delightful person, except when she's 3 sheets to the wind.
Bulstrode, so glad I caught you. Is there something the matter?
Lady Veronica, Mrs. Upjohn. That's what's the matter.
Oh, yes, I remember her. Imbibed from the Wassail Club and liked your frigate the Carol concert, didn't she?
Extraordinary. Isn't it possible? Dead, surely. But the mission went wrong, as I before, in Russia or Now, let's get
Dear Shaggy, where would I be without you?
I mean, we knew all the agents in the files, of course. But really, the most astonishing resemblance. But it's not possible. I'm so sorry. I've been wittering on. Goodbye. See you at Christmas, I expect.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Monsieur Poirot.
Mademoiselle, I have nothing on at the present. And Georges, my valet, has the time to place a suitcase on the train, so Poirot, he would be happy to remain here and advise you.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Thing. The balance is all wrong.
Oh, it's much better than my old thing. It's like a sponge.
I'd rather have yours than mine.
Welcome to it. Are you all right, Jem?
Just thinking about poor Uncle Bob. He had so much going for him.
You mean working for the prince?
Yes, but there was something else. I mean, he only hinted at it, but you could tell from his smile.
A girlfriend?
I think so.
Ooh, a patch. Oh, how sad. What's the score?
Love. Love all.
And arms first, to second, and close, and turn. And begin this side, plie down, releve up, and turn. Grand battement front, tendu, and close.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Chaplin.
Hello there. You staying with us then?
Oui, well, just for a little while. Poirot is here to observe.
Ah, a spy.
Oui. For my so-called friend, His Majesty King Leopold III of the Pigeons, there is the possibility of the royal princess coming here to the school.
Quite an honor.
Oui, bien sûr. And you? You are new here, huh? So how do you find it?
A bit bewildering, actually. I suppose starting school's no different whether you're 5 or 35. Plus, well, I used to be private secretary to Sir Mervyn Todhunter.
Huh?
Before that, I was personal assistant to an oil magnate. Before that, a cabinet minister.
I comprehend. You have worked only for the men?
Yes.
Come on, Forbes, put some gumption into it for Pete's sake.
If you would stuff in your physical buns all day, you wouldn't be so disgustingly lardy. Do it again. Health and discipline, Forbes, health and discipline. Do it again.
Entree, venir, rester, naître, arriver.
Mourir. You forgot mourir. Mourir. To die.
Cool, where'd he pitch up from? What a dish. Adam Goodwin, he's called. I wonder if he is. A good man. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope he's thoroughly bad.
He certainly looks it. Adam, eh? Maybe he's got some forbidden fruit knocking around.
Oh, no. Forbes, not on the floor. Go and get him up and clean it up. Go on, go and get him up.
Look, Lizzie. Down the glen tramp little men. One hauls a basket, one bears a plate, one lugs a golden dish of many pounds weight. No, said Lizzie. No, their offers should not charm us. Their evil gifts. Their evil gifts would harm us. That's all for now, guys. That was lovely.
Yes?
I merely wished to look over the pavilion.
You had plenty of chance for that at the prize giving. This place isn't for all the sundry to go and traipse about in, Froggy.
Please don't call me that. It offends me.
Pardonnez-moi.
Is everything all right?
Fine.
Afternoon, ladies. Nice place, isn't it? Must have cost a packet. They get the best of everything here, don't they? The young madams.
They pay for it.
Through the nose at you.
Don't you have something to do?
I dare say. Miss Chaplin.
It's a sort of wired and boned arrangement. It pushes her up. Quite unnecessarily. I see what you mean. You would have someone's eye out with that.
But you see, my breasts are not very big. Not nearly big enough.
I don't think your breasts are a proper subject for conversation.
It is all too much, all this running and jumping. And I do not like Miss Springer. She sweats like a pig.
That'll do, Shyster.
Princess.
Don't. Oh, there's Miss Chadwick.
Daddy?
Thank you, Miss Chadwick. Yes, Honoria.
Where are you off to?
Infirmary to look in on Patricia Forbes. Oh, Miss Springer made her ill. I had to have words.
Dear Miss Springer. Not a success, I fear. I should never have given her a second chance after that incident last term. Haven't been keeping my eye on the ball, have I? How's the first week going, do you think?
Oh, quite all right, I suppose. Oh, it's nothing I can put my finger on, Honoria. Just a feeling something's not quite right. The girls seem a pleasant lot. I don't care for Mademoiselle Blanche, though. Sly.
Oh, I'm sure she'll settle in. Never like the French mistresses, Chaddy.
Whereabouts in France are you from?
Crécy.
Oh, Topper, as in the battle.
Yes.
You're looking awfully well, Eileen. Lost a few pounds, haven't you?
Oh, illness, I suppose.
Bloody woman.
Comment?
Chadwick. She thinks she owns the place. Well, not yet, she doesn't. She had the temerity to take a pupil out of my class. Wasn't like this in my last school, I can tell you.
No?
No, I turned the place around.
Even so, I expect your ideas haven't always been accepted in the way they should have been.
It's scandalous. Miss Bulstrode is in complete agreement, Miss Springer. It's not how we do things at Meadowbank. They're our girls, here to be nurtured, not tortured.
You see, you must always prepare for ingratitude. The trouble is, people are so cowardly, they won't face facts. They prefer not to see what's going on under their noses. Well, I'm not like that. I get straight to the point. More than once, I've unearthed a nasty scandal.
Oh?
Well, I never give up. Not until I've pinned my quarry down.
Amontillado?
Not for me, merci, mademoiselle. The Spanish wine and the digestion of Poirot are not on the terms most friendly.
I hope you're enjoying your little sojourn with us. Monsieur, I'd hate to think you were bored.
Bored? But the two, mademoiselle. There does not need to be present a crime for the investigator to thrive. This school, it is like the world in miniature. It is like the... What is the word?
Microcosm.
Just so. Just as in the outside world. Hopes, dreams, fears, secrets. This place, so full of the promise of youth, the future of the nation. And yet how lonely and silent are its corridors at night. Lonely and silent as the chambers of the heart. The daily struggle of human life. As fascinating as the bloodstain or the fingerprint. Pardon, mademoiselle. Poirot, he drifts and digresses. And I think it is time that I say good night.
What's wrong?
Christina Breen has earache.
Oh, really, Miss Johnson? What has that got?
No, you don't understand. I was just putting her to bed when I noticed someone out in the sports pavilion. I saw light when I was closing the curtains.
You're right. Looks like a flashlight.
Burglars, do you think? More likely a girl meeting a wastrel boy. Come on.
Maman, s'il vous plaît. Maman. Mademoiselle Bushrod. What is the matter?
It's Miss Springer.
Follow me inside.
Yes, sir.
Bad business, this.
We shall weather it, no doubt, as we've weathered many storms.
Death of a games mistress in a sports pavilion sounds like a highly athletic crime.
Discretion, Inspector, is the key, don't you think?
Which is where our continental friend comes in.
Monsieur Poirot has an international reputation.
Oh, so does Mussolini. We haven't been properly introduced. Detective Inspector Kelsey.
Je vous en prie, Inspector. Hercule Poirot.
I understand Miss Bulstrode has requested your involvement.
Yes, but I do not wish to step on the toes, Inspector.
Thank you. See anything useful of you?
1 or 2 points, I think.
So do you think we should...
First, I think perhaps we should use